guys, I'm back. It's Brenda again from Brenda's Resin Designs on Instagram, and Just For You Online UK has sent me the items I need for a resin starter kit that comes with their baby pink pigment, different molds. These are the rhombus molds, rhombus shaped. So they have this little bit of a beveled edge on it. I'm excited to try that out because I haven't used those molds before. Also, again, the rainbow white glitter flakes you're going to receive in there, the premium heat resist resin, and the heat resist hardener, which is a 2-to-1 ratio. I'll walk you through the mixing again. This kit also comes with this beautiful gilding liquid, so I'm excited to try this out, show you guys how it works out. So yeah, we'll get started. If you need to know any information about the materials I use outside of what's provided in the starter kit or safety information, then just check back to my other tutorial, the one from also using the starter kit from Just For You Online UK, but it's the green starter kit. That one is a lengthier video and it goes step by step and I break down everything that I use. So let's get started. All right, let's get ready to mix. So we want to start with our premium heat resist resin. You want to use 2 parts of this to 1 part of the hardener. So I've already drawn my little mark inside of my measuring cup here that I'm going to be using. So I'll fill it up to my little mark. All right. So that's 1. Scrape it off, make sure we get all of it in there. Now every manufacturer of the resins have different mixing ratios, so you have to just read the labels and make sure that you're measuring out the right amount. If you don't measure the right amount, then you run the risk of your resin not curing properly and your art being ruined. It can be like come really tacky or basically never harden. So this one by Just For You Online UK happens to be 2 parts resin, 1 part hardener. Also, they want you to mix it for 3 minutes. And again, every manufacturer has different mixing times too. So you have to make sure you read your manufacturer's directions when you get them, so you're mixing the right length of time. Resin can be really finicky, so if you don't do everything precisely, I mean, we're working with chemicals here, so if you don't do things pretty precisely, I mean, there's a little tiny bit of a margin of error, but if you don't try your best to stay within, you know, their recommendations, then you run the risk of wasting your money, and that can be really frustrating. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up for 3 minutes, and then we'll be back. Okay, it's been about 3 minutes, and don't forget when you stir together the resin and the hardener, you want to make sure you scrape the edges really well. So you mix it very, very thoroughly. And then also the bottom there, you want to make sure you give a good scrape into the bottom. And any little nooks and crannies that you happen to have in your mixing cup. Okay, so I also forgot to mention that this new starter kit comes with 2 molds. So that is really cool, what I thought was really cool anyways. And so yeah, you can make a little set here. So after you mix it for 3 minutes, go ahead and scrape this off there. We can mix our color. I measured these out beforehand just by pouring some water into it just to see how much resin it needed. And these molds are a little bit thicker and take about 3 ounces of resin. So I'm gonna pour this out and make this my clear glitter. I think that might be too much actually. And this is where you can get creative. You can do anything you want. If you happen to have other colors you want to add, you can do that too. But I'm just going to use what we have here in the starter kit. Keep it easy. I think it's a very classy color, glitter, and mold shape design. So I'm excited to see how it turns out. But I didn't fill it up too far, maybe about halfway. And I'm going to use that for my glitter. And then I'm going to mix the pink directly in here because we're going to need more of that. Actually I'm going to do some clear too. So we'll do some clear. I'm sorry, I'm changing my mind here, but so I'm going to do clear and then pink. So I have the baby pink pigment here. And then I use my little glitter grabber straw that I cut the tip off of. And I think I'm doing a little heaping scoop. It's a lot of resin, so maybe I'm gonna go in for one more dip. And you wanna make sure you stay close to the 10% ratio. So 10% color or pigment or additives to your resin. Because if you pour way too much color in there, and it's going to change the curing process for the resin. Again, it's temperamental and it might not cure at all if you put too much in there. And I'm making a mess. Okay, so bear with me. Okay, now that that's mixed up nice and well, I added a lot of pigment in there, so it took quite a bit of stirring. I'm gonna go ahead and mix in some of these glitters. This is the rainbow white glitter flakes. Going back in with my glitter grabber. I'm gonna use a little bit less resin. See what I have about in there now is about a fourth of the cup full. I'm going to put some, about 1, 2, 3, 4 scoops to start. All right, now we get to the fun stuff. Starting with the pink, I'll give it one more stir because it was the first one I mixed up and it's settled a little bit. Look at how gorgeous that is. So pretty. actually I'm going to start with the glitter. I'm going to start with this rainbow white glitter flake. Pour some of these glitter flakes in. Then we'll go around the perimeter edge. I like all these, any kind of cups that squeeze, because it allows me to have a little bit more control. Resin is very difficult to control, so anything that helps out with that, I'm a fan of. So we just go really slowly around the perimeter here. Okay, and then we're going to go over to the next one. Again, try to stay at the edge. Right around the perimeter here. Okay. Still have some pink left, but I'm going to go around the glitter with a clear. Now where the clear and the pink meet, once we add a little bit of heat to it, it's gonna blend together a little bit, create some cool effects. I can't wait to see what it's gonna do with this pink color. Just a little border here with the clear. All right, now we'll go back in with a little bit and repeat this pattern. I'm gonna give it a quick little stir since the glitter likes to settle. I'm gonna add a little bit more glitter, just right to the middle. And this one. And go back in with the pink. I think these molds are such a beautiful shape. It's so classy and elegant. I really like this pink color with it and the rainbow flakes. I can't wait to see how these look. I feel like they're gonna be just so pretty. Then let's go back on this one. Almost there. These are pretty thick molds, so it takes quite a bit of resin. Just be patient and take your time. So while I'm doing this, I'm kind of looking at the inside edge as well to see how high up I'm filling it. Try and keep them as even in size as possible. I'm going to go back in with the clear. Right around the glitter. Also keeping an eye on the edge. We don't want to go and overfill it. Looks like some of my glitters are trying to run away. I could fix that though. A little bit more over here. A little bit more over here. All right. get those little driftaways back to the middle. Trying to wander. Glitter is heavier, so it does typically sink, but since these are a 3D shape, they, you know, if they're not completely submerged, then they start to float away a little bit. Which is fine if you get a couple random ones out there. I got a couple of them out there that floated over into the pink. That's okay. Then we got these random ones, little runaways. This side stayed put a lot better than the other side. I don't know what I did differently there. Maybe you guys saw what I did differently there. I don't know. But I do still have a little bit more glitter, and I do still have a little bit more room in here. And I don't like to waste glitter, so I'm gonna pour a little bit more in here. And just because you have it doesn't mean you have to use it, but I mean, to me, it's glitter, so I don't know if you can have too much glitter. Well, I stand corrected. I have made a piece of art that did have too much glitter before, but that's a whole nother video. So this one over here, these are just staying right in place for some reason, and these ones are a little bit more wandering, but that's such is the way with resin. Okay, so now close up my glitter bags before I turn my heat gun on, because as soon as you turn that heat gun on, it's free for all with the glitter. So, all right, I'm gonna turn my heat gun on. It's gonna be loud. I always start it away from the coasters in case there's any residual dust sitting in there or particles. You don't wanna get that onto your mold or your resin, your coaster. Then I just wanna add some heat around the edge, doing circular small to the middle. I go back out. Basically, you want to just keep the heat gun moving. You don't want to hold it in one spot for too long, otherwise it can burn. And also, it can ruin your mold. So you want to make sure you keep that heat gun moving. Don't hold it too close, and don't keep going over and over and over for too long. Maybe give it a break. You can come back at it if you want to still. The heat gun removes the bubbles and it makes it thinner, so it blends a little bit better, and you can use it to move the resin too if you want to mix any colors like that. So I don't know if you can see already, the resin's starting to suck into the middle there, the pink coloring. So I'm really excited to see how it's going to turn out. That's the exciting part, is waiting 24 hours to see what you created. I'm going to hit it with the heat again one more time. Again, starting away from the coasters. You guys are gonna love this kit. I can tell already. It's gonna be beautiful. And the colors are so beautiful and shimmery. The pink is like a pearly pink color. Then the rainbow glitter is just pulling all that pink color off of it. It's so gorgeous. I can't wait. So we'll see you guys back here in about 10 minutes, and we will hit it with the heat gun again one more time and try to make sure we get as many of those air bubbles out as we can. Okay, see you back in 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes, and you guys ready to see what the resin created? Oh, they're so pretty. I love it. It's starting to do its thing, sucking into the middle there, and It looks gorgeous. I love this color. You can see the little ring around where the pink color is kind of overlapping the clear that we poured. So it's a little bit lighter. It's really, really pretty. It's creating its own natural pattern in there. I can't wait to see what it's gonna do. I'm almost afraid to hit it with heat because I'm just gonna hold the heat gun a little bit further away than I normally would. I mean, there's really not even any bubbles that I can see with the naked eye. But let's make sure we take care of any that might be in there. But I'm gonna hold it a little bit further away than I normally would because I just really don't want to ruin the pattern and the beauty that it's creating right now. So again, starting it away from the coaster. That's it, guys. Now we let it sit for 24 hours. And I'm sure you noticed that I had it covered with my cardboard box earlier to prevent any dust or cat hairs or anything like that, any kind of particles that might fly on there. Keep it covered for 24 hours, come back, and then we will look and see what we created and go from there. Sand it, add edges. I can't even imagine how pretty it's gonna look with gold edges on it. All right, see you in 24 hours, guys. Okay, guys, so it's been 24 hours and time to take a look and see what we created here. Ta-da! They're so pretty. It. So gorgeous. Let's take them out of the mold and see how they look on the other side. I'm curious. They turned out great. Oh, that pink color is so pretty. So when I demold these, just like loosen them up all the way around the edge and kind of start at one side and get your finger in there so you can get that suction out. Ready? Pretty. So gorgeous. It turned out great, you guys. And again, if you want to go a little bit lighter, you can do that. If you want to go a little bit darker, you can do that by just adjusting the amount of the baby pink pigment that you mix in with your resin. Just be careful not to go too heavy-handed. And then this rhombus shaped mold. Look at these edges. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that. That's so nice. Probably actually could have filled it up even a smidge more. Okay, so now that we've unmolded these, get the reflection out, we can sand these. If you look closely, you'll notice that it has just a little bit of a lip here. I don't know if you can really tell on camera, just right here where it starts kind of, I don't know what the word is, but kind of going up, creeping up the sides a little bit of the mold. When it's in there, it starts creeping up on the sides and creates just this little tiny bit of a lip here. And so this side is perfectly flush, the bottom. You'll pretty much never have to worry about sanding the bottom. You see that? So if you do want to get rid of this little bit of a lip that you have here, what you can do is sand it. You can use a Dremel, You can use sandpaper. A lot of people recommend doing wet sanding, which is what I do if I'm doing it inside. If you add a little bit of water when you do the sanding, then what it does is it creates less dust and particles in the air. So always make sure during this part, especially when you are doing sanding and you have your resin dust particles, you have to make sure you're wearing your mask. Okay? Put that on. And goggles, some kind of protective eyewear, because it can get in your eyes too. So definitely want to protect yourself. They won't get in the way at all. So I'm gonna pause for a second and I'm gonna go put on my gloves. Be right back. And just like that, boom, I'm back. So let's start out sanding with the sanding block. I also use this sometimes when I start getting down too low because I don't want to accidentally scratch the surface here because it's so pretty and shiny. So just get this sanding block a little bit wet. And then I will just lightly rub the edges. And then move it a little bit in a circular motion. I'm holding it a little slight angle, not holding it flat. You see that, how it's a little bit white? I don't know if you can tell, but the water's getting a little bit white, and that's the dust particles that are sanding off of this coaster. I'm just slowly spinning it, slowly rotating it. Let's take a look here. Still quite a bit of a lip going on. So I'm gonna continue my little circular sanding motion and speed through it for you guys. Okay guys, so I'm not gonna lie to you, that took a really long time, probably about 10 minutes. I did start out using this method. Now I do so many coasters, I did actually go out and purchase myself a little Dremel. And so it's a lot faster, but you have to do it outside because I haven't even tried to add water to it or anything. So, but I did go at it pretty well. And I don't know if you can tell here on camera, but there's just like a little smidge of an edge, but I really don't want to take it down too much further because I don't want to ruin the surface. So to me, that is perfect. So we can go ahead and add gold edges to it, okay? So let me get my stuff ready and we'll be right back. Now I got both of the coasters sanded. I'm giving this gilding liquid. This is the Empire Gold color. It's also provided in the baby pink starter kit. Give it a really good shake, mix it up. See that? Super pretty. Okay, I have this little tiny paintbrush that I use also for mixing, but this end I think works really well for me, this size, for the gilding. I'll just give it a little dip in there. We'll go ahead and start around the edge, top edge. I like to make a little tiny lip so you can see it from the top and not just around the sides. This is going to take some time and patience. Okay guys, I don't know if you've seen that, but I went a little bit too far over there, got too much liquid on. So I'm just grabbing one of my wipes, my Clorox wipe. I'm gonna just swipe that off. Boom, just like that, gone. As long as you do it right away. Then I can just touch that spot back up. Like it never happened. Going back around with the second coat. Okay, so with a little bit of time and patience and a steady hand, slowly finish up your edges with the gilding liquid. This gilding liquid seems to me like the consistency of like a spray paint or something, and in my experience, these type of gilding liquids, they need a little bit of time to cure before they're scratch resistant. I'm not sure, about this one. It's my first time using it, but after it cures and bonds to the plastic, the resin, it'll be good to go. You don't have to worry about it scratching on somebody if you're going to be giving this to them. I've had other paints in the past that I used that, unfortunately, a little bit later I realized that it does scratch off. But the gilding liquid is made specifically for that. So this you shouldn't have a problem with. So also another thing to know is with this heat resist resin, it takes about 7 days to fully cure to where it can be at its strongest potential for resisting the heat. So if you give it to somebody as a gift, or if you're selling them or whatever, or you're just using them yourself, before you go putting any hot cup of coffee or hot cup of tea on them, make sure you wait and you give it that full 7 days to cure. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with a little ring, an indentation on the resin mold coaster, not in the mold, the coaster, and it'll just cause it ever so slight. Well, that's what happened to me. It was a slight, but a little slight indentation on there in the shape of the coffee cup, and that's just sad. You don't want to put this much time and effort into something and have that happen. So just be very patient. I know you get excited, you make it, and it's like so pretty. Oh, you want to give it away right away. If you do, that's fine. Just make sure that they know that, yeah, don't go putting anything too hot or too cold on here, or probably even too heavy for the first 7 days. I tell you right now, it's rock solid after 24 hours, but it isn't fully cured, so it can kind of deceive you a little bit that way. I feel like it's good to go, but it needs a little bit more time. So just keep that in mind, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I enjoyed making these beautiful coasters. Let me put it on here so you can see against a lighter background. Isn't that pretty? These ended up really, really gorgeous, just like I thought they would. This edge, the rhombus edge, you can see way more definitively now that it's been gilded and painted. And the beautiful pattern that the resin created. Yes, so all the stuff that you need to create these beautiful coasters comes in that starter kit from Just For You Online UK. This is, again, the baby pink pigment rhombus mold starter kit. So look forward to hearing any questions you guys might have or comments you might have, and also see you in the next video. Bye.